Social issues. The Storeyed House, Part 1. Woman Govind Hoval's short story, The Storeyed House, is a powerful symbol of Dalit awakening in India. It contributes greatly to the dynamism of Dalit emancipation. It tells us the heart-touching story of Bayaji, who belongs to Mahar, a Dalit community of Maharashtra. He frantically mixes the emotional element of a housewarming function being turned into a funeral. Bayaji was a Dalit from Maha community in Maharashtra. He was a strong and healthy man. He worked honestly and sincerely. He worked as a laborer in the dockyard in Bombay. He got an extension for 2 years and worked as a superior in that period. After reaching the age of 60, he retired and returned home, hoping to settle into his ancestral village. He had imbibed many new ideas through his 3 decades, and he was also keen to demonstrate to his village community that he had done well and was successful. He wanted to use his life savings to build a storied house because his family was big with many members. Though Bayaji's daughters and sons asked him what he had brought for them, Bayaji's eldest son told him that neither they nor their wives wanted anything and asked him to tell them what he would like them to do. Bayaji told his children that he wished to build a storied house out of his earnings, as the usual 3-portioned house won't be adequate for them. All were happy with that plan. The foundation of the storied house was laid on the auspicious New Year day. Bhujaba was a known rascal of the village. He was a Mahar by caste, and according to age-old custom, he should have greeted Bhujaba with "My humble salutations to you, sir, who are my father and mother." But when Bayaji merrily said greetings, Bhujaba grew a range on Bayaji. Bayaji embraced Buddhism and turned into a Buddhist. Bhujaba also questioned him, "Can you forget your position? Simply because you have turned Buddhist." Bhujaba was a greedy person. He was jealous on Bayaji's retirement fund. The Storeyed House, Part 2. The news that Bayaji was building a storied house spread very speedily. Kondiba Patil was the owner of the only storied house in the village. Bayaji, an untouchable, creating to build storied house was too much for Kondiba. The construction would progress with speed. Kondiba warned Bayaji that he would be expelled from the village if he built a storied. The middle portion of the house was a little elevated and small first storied fixed up there with a wooden flooring. This part could be reached by stairs rising from the kitchen. It was structurally and functionally a storied house, but no one could guess from the outside that there was first story to the house. Thus, he obeyed Kondiba. The house was completed and the traditional housewarming ceremony was planned. Bayaji's relatives, who were living in different villages, were invited to the ceremony. The village's elders could not be invited to a meal or refreshment, so they were invited to the ceremonial Pan Supari. Bayaji put up pandal in front of the house. Relatives started arriving. Well-known singers came with their trespass. The portraits of great men like Lord Buddha, Bala Saheb Ambedkar, Karmavir Bahu Rao Patil, Mahatma, Jyotiba Phule and others were hung on the walls. Bayaji spread the woolen carpet for Patil and the other high caste people. As the token of respect, Patil and his companion sat on the carpet, were given betel leaves. All of a sudden, the undreamt of incident happened. Bayaji's new house has caught fire and flared up. His enemies had taken revenge at him. Bayaji climbed up to save the pictures of great men on the walls. When Bayaji was about to come down the stairs, suddenly the stairs crumbled down in flames. Bayaji was trapped by flames all around, and in no time Bayaji fell down along with the upper story. He was screaming, my house, it's on fire." He was burned all over. He expressed his last wish that his son should build a storied house, and with those words his head collapsed. The house was burning and Bayaji was in ashes instead of enjoying the comforts of a retired life. People pulled up water from a nearby well and tried to put out the fire. But it was not an easy thing for them to put out the fire. The guests who had come to celebrate the housewarming had the misfortune to attend the funeral of the host. The police inquiry was made. The next morning, the village officers reported that Bayaji's death was caused by an accident due to Petromax flare-up. In the end, the sons of Bayaji's, instead of mourning, came out with spade, baskets, a picker and a hoe and started working on the ground where the ashes of old house still remained. The story ends with the determination of the sixth brother. Bayaji's son started digging foundation to build a regular two-storied house, not a concealed one. It symbolizes the Dalit digging into the foundation of the villain of the tragedy, the caste system. Vocabulary. Compound adjectives. A compound adjective is made by joining two or more than two adjectives before a noun. Compound adjectives may have a hyphen between them. Example: three-portioned house or house arming ceremony. Now, let us fill the blanks with appropriate compound adjectives plus noun from the box. 35-year-old man, lifetime desire, soft-spoken words, two-storied house, waterproof watch, open-minded person. Raghu was a 35-year-old man. He was an open-minded person. He was a hard-working person. He was loved by all for his soft-spoken words. He built a two-storied house in his village. It was his lifetime desire. On the day of the housewarming ceremony, one of his friends presented him with a waterproof watch. He felt very happy and thanked him. Phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is a verb followed by a preposition or an adverbial particle. Phrasal verbs gives us a single independent unit of meaning. Examples: give out, to come, to and end. Set aside, to save something for future needs. There are two types of phrasal verbs. Inseparable phrasal verbs. The lexical part of the phrasal verb cannot be separated from the preposition that accompanies. Separable phrasal verbs. The object may come after the lexical part of the phrasal verb. Example, he brought his son up. She filled her from up. Idioms. Idiom is a mode of expression peculiar to a language. It is a group of words in a fixed order. They should be used in their correct forms without dropping, adding, or replacing any word. Let us look some examples. Choose the correct word from the brackets to complete the following idioms in the sentences. When I arrived here, I felt like a fish out of water. He is an outspoken man. He calls a spade a spade. The parents got their daughter married. Now they are home free. Don't tell me a cock and bull story. You are a bit of a dark house. Grammar. Contractions. Forms like it's, I have, won't are called contractions. Oh, it's mine. Please lower it down. No, sir, my service is over. I have turned 60. Abandoned. A tattered and torn dirty cloth covered the baby's body. A little baby was abandoned. Mosquitoes and insects ate its fingers. The baby was crying with pain because of the wounds it got when the mosquitoes and insects ate its tiny fingers away. The shrieks of the baby are unheard because it has been packed in cover and the baby is in the garbage bin like a crab. It smelled foul as if it was dustbin which contained garbage and rotten waste material. The baby was the outcast. The baby has deep greenish blue colored lips, sea blue nose and fingertips. The baby is taking its breath with a lot of difficulty. A black cat came there in search of rats. The black cat finds its food, that is, rats. The baby was dead by the time the cat came. The rats tear at the baby's hair. The cat jumps in to catch rats. The rats left the baby when they see the cat. The only sin committed by the baby is being born into this world. The baby was abandoned by its parents. People abandon babies because of their poverty, gender, discrimination, or unwanted pregnancies. Few are saved, but most die a painful death, crying into the cold night.